Hey, and welcome to Tech Out Loud, where three college guys just talk about tech. This is the news for the week of March 11th, 2012. What ride's been? As always, I'm your host, Andrew Dane, joined by
Christopher Walton.
And I'm Alex West.
And iPad. That's all I heard from your guys' mouth this week.
That's 3 iPads.
You added it up and it equals an iPad.
Yeah, iPad equals an iPad.
Yeah, I mean, so we got an iPad today.
Yeah, we had it in front of us.
And we got to play with it.
Yeah.
And we all took pictures. We all looked at the quality.
It's basically everything I expected coming from the Apple event.
What did you think of the display, though?
Oh, the display is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I actually would say it's better than the iPhone 4's display.
I think it sleeps and bounds better than the iPhone 4 display.
I think the only thing that can compare to that Retina display is the Galaxy Tab 7.7 Super AMOLED tablet display. That is a beautiful screen, too.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the speed, though?
You don't notice it. We didn't download Infinity Blade, so you can't really tell.
Well, I thought web surfing was a lot faster and more
It's the same processor.
Is it?
It's the same exact processor, just a different GPU.
Okay. And we didn't get to use the LTE, so...
Yeah, we got the Verizon LTE model, for all those wondering, because ATT sucks.
It does.
We did get our hands on it, so we could say.
So...
I was surprised at how heavy it was.
It is heavy. I was like...
But I kind of like the weight.
The weight does feel it.
But I don't like the weight when it's the in-bed device to me.
That's because you had a bad incident.
It feels heavier than a MacBook Air. Or about the same as a MacBook Air.
About the same as a MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Because they doubled the battery, but what I don't get is, is the graphics processor really taking that much power that, they can double the battery, but the battery life is still the same? Imagine they
It's the Retina display that's taking the most up.
But imagine they stuck with, the same display, and that battery lasted for, 2 days.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I think I get 2 days out of my iPad 1.
No, 2 days of constant use, the screen being on 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Playing video, playing games for 2 days straight.
Yeah, that would be great.
You know how great that would be on a flight from Vietnam to the United States, which is 24 hours?
Or that from here to Australia?
Well, it's 24 hours because you have to go through a lot of... because you don't fly directly here, you fly through, Japan or something. So, total flight time is 24 hours. But some part of me wishes that, but looking at the Retina display, it's just gorgeous. And they're cleaning the windows right outside.
Wonderful.
Awesome. We should wave at them.
I don't think they can see us.
No, they're almost done.
But anyway,
if you wonder what that strange, piercing water pressure
I'm sure
noise...
Andy will have a filter to filter this out.
But, yeah, we didn't... I mean, I'm not going to pay $5 for Infinity Blade. I feel like if you want to see how...
Infinity Blade is a really good deal for $5. It's better than Chaos Rings at Square Enix. Because I played Chaos Rings 1 when it first came out.
I miss when Infinity Blade 1 went for $1. It was 99 cents for a day.
But there's this game called Chaos Rings that Square Enix released last year, and it was the most... this was before Infinity Blade. It had such great graphics, such an amazing soundtrack, and it was only $3, and I bought it. It was the best thing ever. And then they released Chaos Rings 2, the sequel, and it's $20.
That's a little bit ridiculous.
I'm like, for an iPhone app? Are you kidding me?
I mean, I could see it for an iPad app. Because people pay a little bit more for an iPad app.
But even, sure, okay, if it's a game, I'll pay $20. But then when you compare, iPhoto, which is only $5 to $6, right? And then that you can technically do a lot more than this. Chaos Rings 2 is going to give you, maybe a week of fun play, but you're going to mess around with iPhoto forever. And it's like the I'm Rich app all over again. It's like these apps, these game developers don't know how to price these things. It's when you can get Angry Birds that last a lot longer than this game, even if this game is a lot more beautiful and a lot more fun, Angry Birds is going to last you a lot longer for a lot cheaper. Yeah.
I think get the iPhoto app for the new iPad.
I like the iPhoto app for quick edits. I would never... It's not a Photoshop replacement at any stretch, definitely.
But if you're on the go and you don't have your laptop...
if you're on the go, it does good. The repair tool's nice. I love the context-aware editing, where if you try to saturate the sky, you only know to saturate the sky and not the person or the subjects. And to pair it, they're now branding the iPad and the iPhone 4S's camera as iSight cameras.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
when I zoomed in on it, some of the content, the pixels and everything. I mean, it was kind of hard to see. Did you see it?
I didn't see any. To be
Yeah,
honest,
I saw a
but-
lot of pixels on my camera.
on the camera.
on the
but
camera, but I'm talking about like
home screen.
Yeah.
Oh, the home screen.
home
yeah.
screen and like on the web pages. I didn't
I
really
couldn't
see
tell.
anything,
It's exactly like.
but
what
there was some bleeding.
Yes, there was light bleeding at the top. I don't know if it's just because of fresh display and over time the heat will seal it in,
Yeah,
or at least you're not facing the yellow displays.
yeah.
That's true.
Because I just noticed that off the bat. That was a big thing that kind of bothered me. Was I could see physical bleeding.
But it's the same issue of every first shipment of iPad. There was always light bleeding.
I guess that's the cost you pay to be on a precipice.
on the bleeding edge.
Now, if you really were concerned about it, you could probably take it back to Apple and say, "Look at this." Do you think they would do anything about that? Or
Yeah, they
Yeah.
replaced it.
Yeah, they'll replace
Yeah.
it.
If you have your receipt and everything, if it's a deep quote unquote defect product. So.
Okay. Well,
Well, iFixit tore it down, and they discovered a lot of cool things inside of it. It's the innards are basically what you expect. The A5X processor is basically the A5, just with a better GPU
and X on it.
and an X on it. And it does it is confirmed now that it has 1 gig of RAM finally, because the iPad 2 only had half a gig, which boggled everybody's mind. Why did it only have half a gig?
Is that something that they mentioned at all, or
No, Apple never mentioned specs. This is the first time at an Apple event they actually mentioned the processor.
So,
Like, if you look at all the other iPhone and iPad events, they'll be like, oh, it has an A5 processor or an A4 processor. Like, they'll quickly glance upon it
and then move on.
and then move on. But this time, when they announced this iPad, they were like, this has an A5X processor. Quad-core graphics. But they also never disclose clock speed or RAM. It's like things... which is actually really nice, because they never have to compete on that.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Not even the developers know how much RAM this freaking device has.
We just develop.
Yeah, I mean, I did love the camera right off the bat. I didn't get to use the voice feature, so I don't know how accurate.
I think the
camera was beautiful on the iPad.
They claim the sensor is the same as the iPhone 4S, but with 5 megapixel. So I actually think that camera is better than the iPhone 4S's camera.
Yeah, because I took a picture of your lovely dessert that you made, and the color was really rich inside the oranges and everything.
Well, that's because of the post processing they do. Like I don't like Apple's camera in general because they take good pictures, but they're like Apple camera. I say takes easy to use pictures, but you don't get the best picture quality because it oversaturates and kills detail in order to get you a nice looking picture. They do a lot of the hard stuff for you.
They never give you a raw copy.
They never give you the picture you take in. The moment you take the picture, it always they post process it to saturate a little, add a little vibrance, and then sharpen a little. So if you zoom in on any of the photos, you lose so much detail.
And then they add HDR.
Yeah, but HDR is just so.
What does grid do really? I don't see anybody really using
Kind of
grid.
just helps you align.
No, the grid.
Yeah.
It's supposed to how you compose your shots. You're never supposed to have anything in the middle. A photographer, you're never supposed to have anything in the middle. Everything that's supposed to be interesting is supposed to be where the lines intersect. Like you have to have someone's eye where the lines intersect, or like your subject to the left or the right. Because if you have everything in the middle, it looks super boring, and it's nothing.
It's not creative.
Yeah, it's not creative.
Does everybody know that? No.
Well, photography students know it by heart. It's the first lesson they teach you.
But regular people, they're just like, oh, great, okay.
I do hate my biggest pet peeve with iPhone 4 or iOS photographers in general, besides Instagram, is HDR. It's like they abuse HDR. I don't know that they know what HDR means.
Doesn't it just take 3 photos and just compress into one?
Yeah, it takes 3 photos at different exposures. Like sometimes when you take a picture of a person but their sun's bleeding,
Mhm.
you see like the background, the sky, but then everything's black.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you take a picture of the subject, you see the subject fine, but then everything else is so white, you can't see anything. So it takes those 3 photos and then combines it into one. But your subject has to be super still, or else if you move, your picture is going to come out really crappy.
But overall, I think it's the best of all the iPads.
It definitely destroys every Android tablet on the market. I think the iPad 2...
I think the iPad has destroyed a lot of tablets in the market in general. This still keeps Apple on top.
No,
for another year.
You know what I thought Apple should have done, though? It's like Apple has so much money at this point. Why?
You think Apple should do a lot of things. But
No, but listen to me. They have so much money in the bank, like over $100 billion, right? Why couldn't they just take a loss on the iPad 2 and basically say, "Oh, we're going to sell the iPad 2 for $199 now," and then kill whatever chance the Kindle Fire would have had.
I mean, you're gonna pay a little bit more for
But there's
quality, not quantity.
no, but like the iPad 2 thing, they're keeping it as a budget device. So why not just be like, go all the way?
Well, how much is the iPad 2 right now?
$399.
Which is not bad.
No, but
Which
like
is the
but that's
Kindle.
close
The
enough.
Kindle Fire is what?
$199.
$199. So another $100.
$200.
$200.
No, but that's the thing. It's like the price between an iPad 2 and an iPad 3 is enough where you can save 1 week's paycheck in order to get the new iPad. But if they cut it significantly enough to maybe like $299 or $199 even, I think that would have bled into the Kindle market share so bad. It would kill the Kindle market.
That's true. I mean, I think $299 is okay. And as an entry level tablet, that still leaps and bounds better than everything that's out there on the market, besides the new iPad.
I mean, it's leaps and bounds in terms of software. I wouldn't say hardware.
So you don't think the iPad 2 is better than anything that's out there right now, besides saying the iPad went away?
I mean,
Like
all Android tablets, either something's really good, but the offset is the App Store or the software.
Like the Transformer Prime, beautiful, beautiful tablet, quad-core processor, beautiful graphic, 12-core graphics card. It's super fast, super smooth. But then the moment is you open, and this is what Apple did at the iPad event. They opened up a Twitter app on an Android tablet, and then opened up a Twitter app on the iPad tablet, and the Twitter app on Android sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Because there is no Twitter client on Android. They just take the phone app and scale it up, and you have these long lines streaking across the screen because it was built for a tiny device.
it's the software that sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely the software. It's like you have to pretend that you're... It's like anybody who shows off an Android tablet has to pretend their tablet ran out of batteries when someone asks them, "Can you show me a good app?" There's no good games for it, and there's no good apps. Like, that's the thing. That's the end of the story.
That are proportionate to the screen. I mean, you can go into the store and get something interesting.
Oh, yeah, they have more apps. No, not more apps, but they have a lot of apps in almost as much of the App Store, but there's no quality of apps. Like, all of the apps kind of suck.
Well, Apple had that problem a while back. But
Yeah, when
they
the
fixed
first
that.
iPad came out, when everybody's like, "Oh, this is just a big iPod Touch," which it essentially was back then. But you can't use that argument anymore because there's so many iPad apps now.
Oh yeah, especially like you talked about how you like the iBooks.
But it's been disappointing me a bit because there's still no good books.
I know, but like when it's time, give it some time and it'll come out. But taking that the iBooks and how good it looks on that new iPad.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna look beautiful. Like,
well, I think it's amazing what they did was.
I want to see the new textbook, the Life, I think which is the free textbook they were giving away.
But it hasn't been optimized for the new iPad yet.
Yeah, but when it is though, I bet it's gonna look even leaps and bounds better than what we just saw on the iPad 2.
Is, like the iPad's Retina display is actually more pixel dense than a piece of paper that you read. That's incredible. It's like reading a sheet of glowing paper. I think that's the best way I can describe the Retina display.
It is beautiful.
I just can't wait till this reaches laptops.
That'd be so nice on this Mac Pro.
Yeah, because these less than stellar, not even HD screens are pissing me off.
A Retina display, I think it's gonna take maybe, I don't know,
A couple
of years.
I would say a couple of years. Like, this is what Apple does. When Apple released the Retina display on the iPhone, the original iPhone 4...
The iPhone, the iPad. The next step is like the...
No, like, they released the Retina display on the iPhone, and then all Android manufacturers, from that, they were stuck with WVGA before the iPhone 4, and that beat the 3GS, and then the iPhone 4 came out with that Retina display, and then everybody immediately transitioned to QHD screens.
I thought they were going to AMOLED.
This is totally... AMOLED doesn't really have anything to do with resolution. It's just the type of screen.
Okay.
But everybody went to QHD immediately. And we had QHD screens for a year in Android. And now that this new iPad came out, in order to preemptive that, Android came with 720 screens. So
what's your prediction as to when do you think you're going to see Retina displays in laptops?
I don't think... as much as I want them on a laptop, I don't think it's feasible on a laptop. It's definitely feasible on a desktop where you have all this vertical space to work with.
You think it'd be feasible to be on an iPad a while ago?
No. I didn't say that. I said I knew it was going to be on iPad. It's not feasible for them to keep up the demand, which they didn't because in 3 days they sold out. They can't keep up the demand. I didn't say it was impossible for them to build it.
I don't know. Did he say it was like... Like going back, I remember he said it was not feasible to have it on the iPad.
No, I didn't say that. I said it was feasible they can build a Retina display, but it's not feasible that they can keep up with demand.
We're gonna have to go back to
Yeah,
some
we're
Tech
gonna
Out Loud.
Yeah,
tapes.
check. But like,
I think it's possible to put it on maybe like I think they would start off maybe like on MacBook Air. Introduce it on something like that, something small. Having a MacBook Air with a Retina display.
No, the problem with that is like this is how Apple tackles like if it's not. How should I say this? Like I don't know how to describe this, but it's not like the pixel count is not truly exposed. Because if that Retina display was truly a Retina display, like if it told all websites that it was that many pixels, if you looked at TheVerge.com, their site would be tiny. Like it would be super tiny. But what the iPad and the iPhone do is they report that they're the low resolution, so the site displays at that low resolution. But then because they have all this extra resolution, they double up on the pixels. Like, if you go on, like, what's my resolution for the iPhone 4, it'll still display the resolution of the 3GS. It still thinks the resolution is small, but because it has so much pixels, it doubles the pixels as it re-renders the page. But laptops can't do that because you work with Windows. So if you have a 1080 screen, everything is super tiny. It doesn't do the re-rendering like Apple does.
I like tiny, though.
I don't like
that's
tiny.
That's my preference, but
tiny, kind of all tinied out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my eyesight's terrible, so
you need everything.
But yeah, I mean, does that wrap up the iPad?
What I thought was interesting was like when they reduced the price of the iPad 2, it was enough of a difference that it set McGraw-Hill. Yeah, McGraw-Hill. Sorry, to actually purchase a bunch of iPad 2s for
schools,
educational use.
Yeah.
So that finally came in, and now airlines are totally going to get on board with this iPad 2 at a reduced price.
Because they already used the iPad 1s, didn't they, for flight manuals?
Yeah, and that saves so much weight on the plane.
Yeah. So now having the iPad 2 a lot faster than the iPad 1 as a flight manual. So I can flip through my pages.
Well, those iPads are locked that they can't install any apps, so it can't do anything besides be a flight manual.
That's
and take pictures, right?
Why is that disappointing? I'd rather have my focus on getting my plane safely around.
The whole plane's autopilot. The only thing I do is take off.
On an Airbus.
It's heavily automated.
Airbus?
Airbus is totally all fly-by-wire autopilot.
Exactly.
But Boeing's the same thing, but it gives the pilot the last word if the pilot decides to fly the plane.
At the end of the day, you don't know what's going on in that cockpit.
Yeah, because now after 9/11, those sealed doors.
Before, it's not like they're going to have the door open.
Yeah, they did. They let you in.
I think...
In fact, they gave tours.
Yeah.
I think it was on a Delta, when I was like, maybe pre, it was like post.
Pre-9/11, every plane
I think the cockpit was open, right?
Yeah.
You could see into it.
And I always went up to the cockpit when I was a little boy. Before 9/11, I would go up to the cockpit every flight I go on.
And now it's like, sealed with what? Reinforced
titanium?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's in there anymore.
It can survive bullets, it can survive hammers, it can survive anything. That door is more powerful than what the
window.
Yeah.
The only time you ever get to see inside the cockpit now is when you're boarding. Maybe
if the pilot's gracious enough to actually greet you as you're coming into the plane.
Right, and then once the pilot's on the plane, doors closed. So
pilots are allowed to fly armed too, right?
What?
Pilots
allowed to fly
armed?
No, I wouldn't.
I think they're allowed to carry weapons on a plane if pilots were.
I want to put it against them. I mean, they have to do whatever.
In
case of an emergency, they have to be able to defend themselves.
If the U.S. Marshal is or Air Marshal is incapacitated. And the guy takes the only weapon on there, then...
Well, the cockpit is still sealed pretty tightly.
Still, I mean, you need a second layer of protection in that plane.
I don't think a bullet could...
No, it's a bullet. That door is going to survive anything. The plane could blow up and that door will still be there.
I bet someone would bring a acetylene torch.
And you think the flight attendant is going to stand there while he's going...
At the end of the day, they don't get paid enough to risk their lives.
No.
But... I met a lot of good flight attendants, and I know they would. So maybe not on Southwest.
You never know.
Maybe not on Southwest, but on United, those flight attendants.
When you put someone up into a situation like that, you never know what they're going to do.
You don't know. United flight attendants are capable of crazy shit.
Thank you for always cursing in an episode.
Sorry.
Let's try to keep it clean.
Oh, okay. So I dropped the S word once. Oh, at least it wasn't a rant about technology.
I don't think it'll be the first time.
All right. I think that wraps up our iPad.
events. What else came out?
Sparrow for the iPhone.
Which is my new love. I grabbed the APA from online sources that shall be not named, Chinese online sources. So I loaded it into my mom's iTouch, and it is the most beautiful mail client I've ever seen in my life. Well, that's a stretch. A beautiful mail client I've ever seen on the iPhone. I still think Gmail and Ice Cream Sandwich and Windows Phone mail clients are leaps and bounds ahead of it, but it's in the right direction.
I mean, I like it a lot. It's definitely a breath of fresh air from the normal.
But the problem I have with it, it's not native. That's the biggest issue I have with it. It's a beautiful Gmail client that doesn't suck like Google's Gmail client, but then every time you go on a website and want to email from that website with a link, it opens up the native mail client, which sucks.
And you can't change that.
No.
Is there an update coming out soon or no?
Apple won't let you change it.
Yeah.
Until they finally embrace, here. That's like Apple admitting defeat. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They'll just steal Sparrow in the next update and totally, rip it off.
Probably. We'll just incorporate it. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Because it's like exactly how Notification Center worked for Mountain Lion. They ripped off this developer who made Growl for the Mac.
Uh-huh.
He made the Notification Center first, and then in Mountain Lion, Apple ripped it off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, for those who haven't used Sparrow,
what is up with your facial expressions?
Well, I was reporting my
drop call.
Drop call.
Not drop call.
Oh yeah, these two have been trying to get femtocell for the past week by reporting fake drop calls and arguing with.
We're reporting fake drop calls.
Fake drop call.
There's no real drop call. Fake drop call on the AT&T network.
They're real.
It's a real problem.
Okay.
We've been.
Okay. You know what? The funny thing is, as T-Mobile, as people keep leaving T-Mobile, my reception and my data speeds get better and better every day.
So who wants to be on T-Mobile?
Hey, that's fine with me as long as they're still afloat and I can get these speeds.
Well, so far we've failed, but.
we need to talk about PayPal.
Well, let's finish up Sparrow.
Sparrow. Okay.
Alex, me and you are both iPhone users. You get tired of the iPhone client that's now.
Do you even use the mail client?
I use it for exchange.
I want to use the My Mail client on my iPhone.
When I had an iPhone, I avoided it as much as possible.
That's like avoiding the calling feature on your phone.
Which is very easy to do these days.
To avoid calling and just start texting?
No, to avoid the dialer. Some dialers are so hideous, I'd rather just pin a contact to like my start screen and just click the contact to start the call. I don't want to touch or see that dialer.
Yeah, but no. I only use it for exchange for school. There are no other email.
Because it's an awful email experience. I hate it.
I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, I think it's ununderstandable.
You need to bridge out. Like, you really need to test it. You really need to experience every mail client from every platform, and you'll see the iPhone's mail client is atrocious. It's like the worst thing for a phone that was built upon email, they did it so bad.
That's what happens when we're too busy in the garden. Trapped in the walls.
Yeah, because you don't know anything else.
I don't, but I'm happy
not just saying that Apple fans don't know anything else. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you just need to try everything. Because you'll see a breath of fresh air every time you get a good mail client.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll get a good mail client when I get a new phone.
So I'm definitely probably going to pick up Sparrow.
It's $2.99.
I'll wait for it to go.
I'm not buying that yet.
If it's $1.99. $1.99 you would have me, 99 cents definitely. $2.99 is a little out there.
$2.99 for an amazing mail client.
$2.99 for an amazing mail client that doesn't.
That's
you can't.
Not native.
Yeah. That's like me buying the Gmail app.
But the difference between that and the Gmail app sucks ass. Like, it's terrible. Completely terrible.
I've messed around with that one. It's not that great. No.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's WebView. It's awful.
Yeah, it is.
It's a POS.
Thank you.
I didn't say the word. I just said the acronym.
Trying to keep it kid friendly.
Kid friendly? What kids are like on the cutting edge of tech?
Besides, we are. As growing up.
You consider us kids?
When we were growing up? Middle school, high school.
Okay. So I took my first computer apart when I was 8.
Not bad. I was 6. No, okay.
And then he put it back together when he was 12.
No, I put it back together when I was 9 on my next birthday.
So what did you just sit out?
Yeah, I just sat out for a while.
Collect this mare.
Yep.
Dust it off. Dry it out a little bit.
I cleaned it out every couple of weeks to make sure no dust got into it.
That's a little bit.
Well, at least he cared about it.
Yeah, I cared about it. It was my first and only computer. My parents told me. I took it apart because I was interested in it, and then my parents were like, we're not buying another one until you put it back together. So I put it back together in a year.
All right, moving on from the awesome mail client. Let's go to PayPal and how they ripped off
The Saber?
the
The Saber pad from
The-
from The Office.
The Office. I don't know. For those of you who watch The Office, the Saber, I know
The triangle pad.
The triangle pad,
Which was called, I don't remember, Saber.
tripad.
I thought it was just called the Saber pad.
That's not wrong. That's the wrong Saber.
Anyway, it was a PayPal has decided to release, for those you don't know, Square.
A Square competitor.
Square competitor, which is just a standalone. It's like a mobile ATM or
Mobile credit card
reader.
Yeah.
That you can use on the go. This one is more. It's says PayPal oriented.
It uses PayPal.
And for those who you hate PayPal, like me,
and me,
I just hate it with a passion, with a fury of passion.
I call it Evil Bay, and then something.
I just
else.
any website that makes me use PayPal, shame on you. I'd rather use Google Checkout or some sketchy non-secure website.
I want to go that far, but
Then PayPal is so annoying.
PayPal is annoying, but at least I know it's semi-secure than some sketchy unknown site.
But at the end of the day, PayPal sucks.
So what shape do you think they're going to do next? I said that Wells Fargo is going to do circle, and then Bank of America is going to do diamond. Is Chase going to do the octagon?
No, it'd probably be like a sapphire.
Sapphire.
Shape of a diamond.
That would be so uncomfortable to plug into the top of your phone.
I don't know, it's definitely different, that's for sure.
I think that triangle looks ugly. It looks hideous.
It does look ugly. The square, just simple, beautiful. Looks like it belongs on an iPhone or an iPad.
I would say it belongs, but it looks a lot better than a triangle.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot less noticeable than a big triangle sticking on the top of your iPhone.
One thing that is cool about the triangle, it kind of folds. You can fan out the triangle, but then it looks even uglier when you fan it out.
Yeah, it's a complete waste of time.
By the way,
It's
The
a
Office
pyramid.
marketed as the Saber Pyramid. So.
Saber Pyramid. Now PayPal Pyramid.
And then you have the Saber Arrowhead, which would be the iPad equivalent.
I thought the Arrowhead was the phone.
No. Yeah, the Arrowhead was the phone. You're right.
So this is the Pyramid Arrowhead of PayPal.
Yeah. Moving on to that after that awful PayPal.
But by the way, before we actually move on, I just reported. Remember when I just said I was reporting my location for drop call? I get this that says a red pin has been placed on the map of the location of the problem. The details of the report have been saved, and the application will continue to try to submit the problem until it is successful.
So it never submitted.
It never submitted the problem.
That's
so. We're talking
love
about iPad, but Apple also introduced the new Apple TV.
Yeah, it came out today as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not impressed with that at all. I think that UI is the ugliest UI I've ever seen. I did not expect this from Apple.
I thought you said it was okay before.
No, I said it was hideous.
Oh.
I said it was the ugliest UI I've ever. This is so
Maybe I just
un-Apple.
toning you out after a while.
Besides the 1080p support, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah,
It's exactly
it's
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing.
With software change.
Well,
Well,
what
a
a
little
frontal
hardware.
change. The whole user interface is different.
Yeah,
the
it looks
UI.
hideous. It's something I expect from Sony, not something I expect from Apple.
Sony is hideous no matter what.
Have you seen the Xperia S?
I just
Do not call the Xperia S hideous.
Sony Xperia S.
If you call the Xperia S hideous, I'll jump across the table and smack you in the face.
No.
I wanted to marry the Xperia S on Facebook.
Didn't you have a Xperia before?
Yes, I had the Xperia X1, the Xperia X2, which failed. The Xperia X1 was one of my favorite devices ever.
It's too shiny.
Isn't that the one you said it's still a sexy phone?
It's still so beautiful.
It's too shiny for me.
The Xperia S?
Yeah.
It's not shiny at all. What are you looking
I
at?
think. Oh, that's the one with the translucent bar?
Yeah, it's the one with the translucent bar that houses the phones.
But it runs Symbian.
No, it doesn't. It runs Android.
Does it?
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, then this one was running. It was a bootleg image.
What are you looking at?
Now I'm on Sony S. There you go. I mean, it doesn't really look.
Yeah, this one.
It just doesn't really look appealing to me at all.
That looks sexy as hell.
And this looks like one of those cheap plastic Sony phones that used to come out for the Walkman type.
Oh, Jesus. It has a better camera than the iPhone. It has a 720 screen.
That's great.
And
Now,
How's the App Store?
actually, PlayStation has the whole PlayStation suite behind it. So you can play all your PS1 classics.
what networks?
It's sold on lock, but it's compatible with AT&T 3G.
No T-Mobile?
No T-Mobile, no AWS support.
How much is it?
unlocked is like $600.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Now $600 could get me a Galaxy Note unlocked.
Anyway,
Yeah.
getting back onto topic news. I want to talk about Walmart launching their new disc-to-digital service.
Gay Ultraviolet.
We talked about Ultraviolet.
Nothing positive comes out of you.
Because it's not a positive thing. Ultraviolet is retarded.
I'm going to be unbiased.
He didn't
I
say
am
that when we were
unbiased,
talking
and
about
it's-
Ultraviolet originally.
No,
Yeah.
I never like Ultraviolet. You know why? Because it's DRM.
You didn't say that before. You thought it was
he
cool.
didn't.
Concept.
Okay, the concept was cool, but then they added DRM.
Yeah.
And then it killed it.
Well,
It's a cloud-based digital locker. Ultraviolet, got off to somewhat a rather underwhelming start last fall.
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming start.
Very underwhelming. No, because if they took out DRM, I'd be praising it. But the fact that it takes me effort to try to watch my movies, no. I'm not dealing with this shit.
Well, oh my goodness.
I already cursed once. It's too late.
Twice.
No,
it's not too late to stop cursing. It's called just. All right. Well, anyway, for those of you who don't know, Walmart will launch a service that
They'll
will
charge you in order to get the movies you already have.
Well, no, it's launching a service that's going to charge you to convert your
the
DVDs
movies
and
you already
Blu-rays.
have, so you can watch them again in the cloud.
Yeah, to charge you a service. Can I finish? To let you convert your DVDs and Blu-rays into digital files at $2 a pop, which is not bad. Standard definition discs can also upgrade. High definitions are footing for a $5 title, and then the copies will be accessible for streaming or downloaded via Vudu at Walmart owned online content delivery service.
First of all, why do they still have standard definition?
Well, like old DVDs.
I mean, well, they upscale now, don't they?
Yeah, but it looks horrid.
Oh. I mean, I'd still watch upscale movies versus the standard. So.
Okay.
What is DVD? DVDs are like $4.80, right? Or are they $5.76?
I think it's 480p here. No, where is it?
Standard DVD?
Standard
Yeah.
DVD is
It's definitely 480.
Okay. And then what were high def, which is like 576p?
I thought it was 720. 720 was high def.
Yeah, 720.
Okay.
And then Blu-ray,
1080.
1080.
Originally, it was 1080i, wasn't it? 1080i came first. I know that.
Yeah, because it was like a cop out. It was
Right.
like the way to cheat to get 1080 on your spec sheet.
By the way, I do have a 1080i TV at home.
I have a 1080p.
Okay.
Oh, 720.
Okay. I still think
I know
Okay.
you're not a big fan of digital service, but
I'm not a fan of DRM. I'm all for digital services. I'm all for Ultraviolet. If it didn't have DRM,
all right, well,
I bought the damn thing. Let me use it.
sometimes you're just not going to win with the content providers.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to suck it up.
But you know who did win with the content providers? Rdio. They won with content providers, and Spotify's on its way to win. Like this model of Rdio and Spotify is
It's a great segment for your RDO and Spotify segment.
Exactly.
They're not supposed to point it out. It was supposed to
Flow.
Yeah.
It just seemed like you're getting off topic, but let's just segue to your RDO Spotify.
Yeah, okay, so at South by Southwest, Rdio announced that they had a panel of Rdio and Spotify. Rdio announced that they finally made a deal with all the music labels, which is great. More content. They refreshed. No, Spotify refreshed its UI, so it looks a lot nicer now. And then he wants Spotify to cannibalize piracy.
You think it's going to happen?
I think so. I believe it. I totally believe it.
I
I really like
a lot of
Spotify's
things.
model.
I mean, have you used Spotify?
No, because I have a Zune Pass.
So you think it's going to cannibalize piracy?
It's a better model than what like
Than piracy?
Yeah. Basically. Basically.
I still got to sign up for a service, but I don't have to sign up for a service for piracy.
But I think it's a good deal, worth it. Like $5 a month to listen to all the music you want.
It's $5.
Yeah, but you don't own the music.
Yeah.
You can locally store it though.
It's still DRM. For
Is
someone
it?
who doesn't like DRM.
Well, that's why I use Zune Pads, not DRM. So
Oh my
He's talking about
goodness.
Spotify.
I know, I'm just saying, but I like the model Spotify's going.
You really just contradicted yourself right there.
Have we got
So
time?
you're okay. So
I like the model.
you're applauding, you're appreciating that Spotify and RDO give you a taste of DRM music for
but this is
$5.
the difference between Spotify's DRM and Ultraviolet's DRM is you have to use Ultraviolet to watch the streaming, right?
No, or you can use the Walmart website.
Yeah, exactly. You have to use some sort of device or website, whatever, to watch it.
Okay.
Spotify, you take anywhere with you. It has DRM, but it works in the background where you don't notice it. If I notice DRM and it becomes an issue to me, I'm angry. Spotify works so well. If I install Spotify on my phone, my computer...
But you still get ads, right, for $5?
No.
Sure?
Yeah, ads are only free.
Okay.
But their DRM doesn't affect me whatsoever. I install Spotify...
Well, it does. I mean, if you want to have it on your phone.
No, if you local install it, you can still listen to anything you want. There's no restriction. There's DRM there, but there's no
How many
restriction.
times can you listen to that same song?
If you're free, then it's 5 times, and then if you pay, it's unlimited.
Okay. But you still don't own the song.
You don't own the song, but you don't notice you don't own the song.
I think you notice at the end of the day you don't own the song because it's not in your playlist.
Really? I mean, you can keep it in your playlist for as long as you want.
Yeah, but can you access it offline?
Yes.
And all their entire library?
Whatever you want to store locally.
Or do you have to store it? You have to store whatever song you want locally?
Yeah, you store whatever you want locally, and you can carry wherever you want.
See, I'd rather just browse through like a huge collection and have it offline. Can you download our albums and store them locally?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the...
But isn't that what Apple's doing with their whole the music client they're doing?
What music client?
The thing where you pay to get your stuff re...
You mean iTunes Match?
Yes.
No, how that works is it scans your music library, uploads your song titles to their cloud, and then you stream back higher quality versions of your songs. You can't locally store any of the songs.
So basically, if you have a bad version...
Yeah, if you have a bad version, you can stream a high-quality version from Apple.
And how much is that?
It's $25 a year.
Oh,
that's cheaper than your $5 a month.
Yeah, but you don't get to locally store.
Okay, so you take away locally storing, and...
So without an internet connection, you're screwed.
Well, that leaves streaming. Can't you do that from your phone, though?
Can you do it over Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you can do it.
And almost everywhere has Wi-Fi.
You can't just assume everywhere has Wi-Fi. Like half the time we're in here, the server's down and we can't get on this Wi-Fi, so we have default to UCF Wi-Fi.
But you're still around. It's still Wi-Fi. And Alex is always at Starbucks or at the hospital.
Or if you're in Winter Park, you have what is it? WiMAX they use? I don't know what they use.
I think it's
something like that.
Or Panera.
I spend most of my time at airports and they charge you $8 an hour.
OA doesn't do that.
Yeah, IOA doesn't do that. But I just get to the IOA to get to another airport.
I'm surprised it doesn't have Wi-Fi. I don't know if amusement parks have Wi-Fi. Amusement parks?
Oh no, they don't.
No,
they should.
No.
Disney.
They would take those It would make those lines so much more enjoyable.
If they had Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
so I
if
could
they had
upload
Wi-Fi.
my photos.
I mean,
here's this board sitting in line.
It's like it streams some
no,
movies.
they actually do make it interactive though, because they do have apps to tell you how long line waits are.
Ooh, I can look at that number go down every.
Fast Pass is really fast.
Well,
it depends on how they're actually cracking down on that now. Before, when you got a Fast Pass, you come back on the Fast Pass to say you had to come back from this time to this time, right?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't really care as long as you came back after the first time. Like if it's 5 to 6, you still come back 6:30 as long as it's past 5. But now they're cracking down that you have to come back 5 to 6, so you don't clog up the Fast Pass line for other people.
That's actually nice because, I mean,
I feel like the Fast Pass is a gimmick. You're gonna get there the same amount of time.
No, I've saved a lot of time one time that I watch people. I'm like,
but it used to be free, wasn't it, in Disney?
Fast Pass. Well, every time I go to Disney, it's free. Because
every time I go to Disney, it's free.
Now Universal, they charge for Fast Passes.
Did Universal even have a Fast Pass system, or they just have to let you pay extra for a band that you can skip lines?
I think so.
I think it's a Fast Pass system.
I mean, I know you have to.
I think it's like $25 per person for a Fast Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you have to pay for that, but
it's good for the day.
I don't pay for Fast Pass. You can't see my quotations here.
I mean, I always get it for Disney for free, and then I guess the package always comes.
That's exactly. Yeah, I get it in free. No.
Who wants to pay for Disney these days?
And what, $100 a pop almost? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they haven't updated the park at all.
And I tell you, the Florida resident discount
is a ripoff.
Yeah.
It's like what, $2 off?
$2.
Yeah, it's like $5 per person,
which is nothing.
But
that's not including food to get in there.
Disney has a lot to do with films, and films have a lot to do with South by Southwest. And South by Southwest is still going on. Where nothing...
Speaking about some interesting topics at South by Southwest, I feel like the most interesting one that was their social, their live interaction
the homeless hotspot.
Homeless hotspot?
That spurred so much controversy with the internet. My Twitter feed just blew up with that. Retweets. It's like, this is wrong, this is right. Read this article.
Did you want to talk about the homeless hotspot?
You guys talk about it, because, like, the gist of it is they gave homeless people hotspots. People would connect to these Wi-Fi hotspots, and then it would redirect you to a page.
You had to pay.
You did not have to pay.
I thought you had to pay at least $2 just to use it.
You didn't have to pay. It's just one of those, like, here, use this, but if you can, it would be great if you donated.
Now, when you mean homeless, who are we talking about here?
Like, little homeless people. They took homeless people off the streets, gave them Wi-Fi hotspots.
Not like derelict homeless, like crazy. I think they're just conventionally...
So they're carrying Wi-Fi hotspots in their pockets.
Yeah, and they walk around the show floor of the Austin Convention Center, and people would connect to them, and like, you know how any school Wi-Fi public spot, you'd have to log in?
Right.
When you connect to that Wi-Fi, it would direct you to this page where it's like, hey, my name is blah, 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 I've been homeless. It gives your story, and it's like, this Wi-Fi hotspot's free to use, but if you can, please donate, blah, 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 blah.
So and then they will... You would see, like, a person wearing... Hi, my name is Melvin. I'm a 4G hotspot. Text me at HM Melvin
to donate or something.
To access the hotspot, and I guess they'll give you an option to donate.
Yeah,
because in a Verge article it says the program asks for a suggested donation of $2 per 15 minutes of Wi-Fi donated via PayPal. Ugh.
Would you like NFC so you can tap it to their pocket?
Yeah, what if they're NFC and then you had to go bump, poke.
It's not working. Hold on, I gotta turn it on.
You gotta poke a homeless person.
But it spurred a lot of controversy.
It's like a Facebook poke,
but in real life,
digital.
But like, it spurred a lot of controversy, and I don't get why it spurred a lot of controversy. I mean,
because it's recognizing the homeless epidemic that's sweeping in America.
I don't think it's an epidemic.
Have you seen downtown Orlando? Yeah, it's disgusting.
Have you
I'm not saying homeless people are disgusting. I'm just saying the amount of homeless people that's populate Orlando.
You've all seen them to LA. Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah.
No.
LA.
I've been to DC, and let me tell you.
Oh.
Let me tell you, if you get on the red line and go too far, it can be scary.
No, LA after 7 is just like...
You're talking about after DC. If you go outside the monuments, if you go outside,
at least in DC, there's like this area where you're quote unquote safe.
Quote unquote safe. It's the closest you get to the White House. That's the safe point.
But then in LA, there is no limit. After 7, it becomes the town. They come out. I don't know where they go in the day. It's like they come out at night after 7.
Well, they're like underneath bridges and
that's how they make their money.
Tunnels and stuff like that. So,
but like,
I feel like we're laughing at the homeless.
Yeah, I feel bad now. But
do I feel bad? I mean, a lot of people are homeless because a lot of people that are homeless. They're not because they're crazy or couldn't keep a job. It's because they had problems. Or they either lost their job to the point where they can successfully, they didn't save enough and they lived a huge lavish lifestyle and then that fell apart.
And they don't have family.
They don't have family. A lot of it also is, some of them, some of these are young people that are just, running.
They're like us. They're college kids who just got out of college but can't get a job. They're in all the student debt, and their parents, kind of don't want them in the house anymore.
Yeah.
So what are they supposed to do? But like, this is going to get a lot of controversy. But I don't
think it's going to get as much controversy as Coney. This whole Coney thing that's going on. I think we should stop worrying about someone across the nation.
No, but you know what the problem with Coney is? They're trying to Invisible Children kind of oversimplifying the problem. It's like Invisible Children kind of poses. Sorry to get off topic a little, but Invisible Children tries to say there's only one way to fix Coney, and if you donate money, we can totally catch it. But that's not true, right?
No. How does money help?
I mean, unless you're paying for mercenaries that are going to go.
But not even like there's so much like logistics. Like in it, you can't just like go in.
You're pretty much paying for their website to stay up.
Yeah, basically. That's basically what it is.
They said that too. Only one third goes to whatever charity they're donated to, and the rest 2/3 pay for their film equipment and pay for their tickets to Africa.
Yeah, basically, when someone asks me to donate for something, I always ask me how much of a percentage is actually going to that charity.
Oh, only 10%.
Yeah, because people will just ask you, "Oh, would you like to donate to the Star Society or something like that?" Oh, that's great. It's only a 2%. Its percentage is going there, while the other 97%, yeah, or something with reasonable.
And really, how much do you donate at a time?
Exactly, like the Girl Scout cookies. Help us on our troop, or
Though I do
No, they
admit,
do.
But
They're
that's like,
too. They're great.
Girl Scout, Boy Scouts, they're
What is-
nasty popcorn.
Boy Scouts sell popcorn.
yeah, they do.
It's
and then Girl
unbelievably
Scouts have cookies.
nasty.
But I don't mind buying the cookies because they're delicious.
They
Yeah,
are
the
delicious.
cookies.
But no one wants nasty popcorn. Sorry,
No.
Boy Scouts, but I'm not gonna buy some nasty popcorn. Popcorn's really expensive in the movie theaters. I'm gonna buy special.
Boys, this year, skip Chris's house, please.
Do they even do
Save
decor
yourself.
anymore?
Yeah,
You know what's funny?
they
Girl
also do
Scouts use-
newspapers, right?
No, Girl Scouts they use Square.
Really?
You know that?
That's legit.
Like they actually go up to your house. They do door to door. There's like, hey, you want to scan your credit card? And they whip out an iPhone with a Square dongle, and they're like, you can pay with your credit card now.
Like, if Girl Scouts can use debit,
and
I don't
know how to
some-
operate the app.
I don't know how some other. I think their parents are there.
No,
pretty much.
yeah.
I think we'll take
They're
over.
troop leader, yeah.
They're out there with their iPad.
I think they have a
monitoring.
technology badge now, which I think is amazing. Like more programs need to actually teach these kids how to use these technology.
Yeah.
I just don't want another 4G debacle, like where people are like, "Oh, my iPhone's magically faster" when it's not.
But back to the 4G.
The homeless, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, talk about 4G.
Is it legitimate 4G though? No.
Yeah, it's LTE.
Oh, okay. So you're
I
paying
mean,
for a
absolutely.
fast homeless guy. But do you have to follow the homeless guy?
No, well,
I don't know how it works. If they roam around the floor, I'm guessing you have to.
Well, it depends on the range. What is the range?
Yeah, I don't know what the range is of that mobile
that-
hot. Is he just holding it in his hand and just
I'm sure it's
circling?
in his pocket or something.
It's like he's like wearing something and it's attached somewhere.
Or is it like built into the t-shirt?
Maybe he's wearing a belt. And
Yeah, it could be on his belt. It's like on his person.
Okay.
So
So, and then do you what is do I have to be in a certain, to be this close to, to right next to arm's length?
you have to be in considerable distance. I think this room would be fine.
so basically, the guy standing over in the corner.
you have to,
and-
yeah, you basically would have to be, within eyesight
Yeah.
Yeah, within eyesight.
and then throwing distance of a homeless guy. If you were
That's the point, right? This whole thing was to try to draw attention
to homeless people.
to the issue of homelessness.
The only thing I guess I would draw attention to is that he's walking away and I'm losing signal.
I gotta catch up.
As wrong as that is,
Excuse me,
that's
move,
true.
please.
Sir, can you slow down a little bit?
But why do homeless people make it uncomfortable? I mean, why?
I don't feel that it's uncomfortable.
Unless you're downtown and you're being overwhelmed. But
Some of the homeless people that they can go a little bit overboard asking for money, like downtown Orlando. It's actually got to the point where they have to put in laws because they harass people.
Yeah, that's true.
And people are scared, they're going outside, and people are just, harassing, give me money.
yeah, well, there are some in the suburbs of where we live. I mean, it's not too
On
bad.
50, you'll see some, all the time,
But
traveling and pushing their cards.
But they really don't bother.
There's
you.
that one black guy with dreads. Have you ever seen him?
Yes, he walks between all the lanes and tries to knock on all the windows.
He knocks on the window
He never
Yes.
knocks on the windows I'm passing. He's just always, chilling with the U-Haul.
because your windows are down.
No, that's the only time I'm suffocating in my hot box. No, go. Slowly dying. For those of you who don't know, I don't have air conditioning in my car.
In Florida, in Florida.
He has air conditioning, it's just not working.
Oh, the defrost is stuck on, so whenever a homeless person comes on,
Windows up.
window, and you're slow automatic.
Well, I used to give food out to homeless people in my church before it was illegal.
I used to give food to and serve to homeless people until I realized how nasty homeless people are when it comes to free food. They get pretty upset and nasty if there's not enough free food.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You think they'd be more
When I volunteered for my church, it's
What the-
why is this cold? How come I didn't? Could you serve a little faster? Can I get a bigger portion? You're taking time out of your day to help the homeless people, and the homeless people just complain.
Well,
You're homeless. It's not getting any better.
It's a self-entitled thing in America. Everybody's like that.
I think after a while, maybe when you're just starting out to be homeless, you might be a little bit more humble
Yeah.
than
I think if you're completely been homeless for years, then
that's a different.
you're a lot more humble than someone who's just
starting out.
But
Yeah.
it's that moral debate. It's like,
I
are
don't
you
know.
homeless by choice? Or are you homeless by circumstances?
some people have medical issues and their family cannot afford to keep them in places
Well, yeah,
or
that's homeless
institutions.
by circumstances. But if someone who lost their job, it's not even looking for a new one.
That's just lazy.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I like this ad because it is controversial. Those these controversial things.
If it gets you to talk about it, then they already won.
Yeah, they won definitely. So
And-
it's like soap all over again.
Well, they got people talking, so
So and then
So the thing is, would you donate? Like, and how much?
oh
would
yeah,
you donate?
definitely I'll donate.
$5.
You know why I donate? Because I'm sick and I already pay for airport Wi-Fi, which sucks. It's like dial-up speeds, and that's $8 an hour. For 4G, I gladly pay $2, whatever. $5 an hour.
Even if it is
PayPal. I would even buy Clarence the 4G hotspot a meal and sit down. Now I could just have constant.
That's a very good idea. Hey, you want to go to this restaurant with me? And then whip out your laptop and do some work?
Oh, thanks, by the way.
Here's a meal. Just eat. Just don't talk to me. I'm busy working.
That's awful.
That would be mean.
It would be mean.
Horrible.
I need to get some work done for this deadline.
Thank you for your help.
I'm hunched over my computer.
Oh, do you need to charge it? Here.
Yes. Man, how do they charge their hotspot? Like, they gotta be, like... It's gotta be a built-in charger, too, because I know it's only... You get a certain amount of battery life.
Hotspots can last a pretty long time. Like, a MiFi can last 8 hours.
It's not like it's running a screen and...
Yeah, it's just exporting thing. That's why, usually, there's two things I do when I travel out the country. Either I'll take a local SIM, but if that doesn't work, because a lot of local SIMs don't accept T-Mobile phones, I bring, like, an AT&T hotspot, unlock it, and then slip a local SIM in it, and then use that as my data.
So do you think every city now should, like, employ homeless people to be hotspots?
No, I think it's just a one-time thing, because the shock factor wears off after a while, right?
But I mean,
work in Orlando.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty good.
I don't think when you see a homeless person, people are
it's
gonna
like, oh man, awesome! There's a hotspot down here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's gonna equate. It's like, oh, let me whip up my phone, let me connect.
You don't think? Like, if I saw a homeless person that had a hotspot shirt on, and I'm at a place where I wish I had better internet, I'm gonna go jump on that hotspot. No pun intended.
It's disgusting.
Actually, wouldn't it work? Because, I mean, it would really help them out as well. It would
boost the... Number one, the proceeds are going to that homeless person.
And, let's say...
It's kind of like having a job. Like, people who do... people say, holding a sign is degrading. Like, homeless people who, like, get paid, like, what? $5 an hour to sit outside in August sun and rotate a sign. Why don't you just pay $5 an hour and to get internet? And all you got to do is wear a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And hold a hotspot.
And they get the donations.
Yeah. And you get donations. So you get your hourly wages plus donations. That is a way better deal than some of these other companies are giving homeless people.
But that's if the homeless people would accept it. Do you think they'd do it? Do you think they...
do you think homeless people would accept doing absolutely nothing and collecting money? Would any American just like to do absolutely nothing and collect money plus tips?
In a city,
I would go sit outside in Orlando and do absolutely nothing and wear a hotspot shirt that's, if a mobile hotspot. Yeah, because of plus tips.
You just need to put
college students would do it.
Exactly. You just need to put, like, a homeless person with that hotspot on a college campus.
I'm pretty sure you can find some homeless people on college campuses.
Have you seen any?
I'm just saying.
Who just live on campus?
Like, especially, like, UCF game day. Like, this, when I'm, like, especially, like, tailgating. You definitely want to, like, post some pictures or check your Facebook status or something like that. There's some homeless people out there.
That's a great way to do it. Like, you know how to game, you say that you can't even use AT&T 3G because it's so
It's terrible.
packed.
I had to switch down to Edge.
Yeah, what if, like, someone carried an AT&T 4G hotspot, a homeless person, into the stadium when there are a couple scattered around, and then it's free 4G.
Yeah, so the company would pay for their tickets, and it's pretty much like you're donating. It's almost like people who have their concessions.
And then when you turn on your browser, it'll redirect you to an AT&T page so the AT&T gets coverage, and then you don't.
And you could sit a homeless person in almost every section.
You think anybody's ever thought of this?
I don't think they have taken it to a great scale as what we're doing.
No, it's because it's still a very touchy subject to use homeless people in this way.
Yeah,
but it's the same thing as marketing as using homeless people to hold up signs for your store that's going out of business.
I mean, we might not.
What is the difference? I don't understand that. What is the difference between a homeless person on the side holding up a sign, that's trying to, they're trying to make a paycheck, and a homeless person wearing a T-shirt and then becoming a mobile hotspot?
Well, I think the problem is that I don't think we might be okay with it, but some people still are uncomfortable around.
No, because it's like the older generation.
But you don't see normal people stopping down where homeless people are holding a sign and throw money that way, and say, "Hey, I'm sorry that you're on the street," or something like that.
I mean, but if you see them walking around like the UC
stadium, I think the huge issue is like we're just uncomfortable.
Well, they're not.
We kind of feel bad for them. I think once we get past that, they're human beings just like us, and we don't we shouldn't feel bad for them in a way that we don't pity them. Like we don't feel like, oh,
well, you're donating money, isn't that pitying them?
Exactly. Like that's the idea we have to get away from. We have to get into the idea that the normal people with normal jobs, and we pay them for this hotspot.
You have to feel bad to donate. That's the same thing. Like you go into Starbucks and use their free Wi-Fi, you're gonna sit down. Obviously, if you sit down for a long time, you're just sitting there and not ordering anything. You're gonna feel bad that you're not contributing at all.
Not
So
really.
you feel obligated to buy something.
That's you. I always buy everything every 3 hours that I spend at a Starbucks.
In a Starbucks?
Yeah, every 3 hours.
Well,
That's
they
a
already
lot.
have enough money for me for
Yeah,
For
when-
what,
you.
Yeah.
That's me
You,
because I
but,
spend
you know,
$6 at a time.
Yeah, I'll go get a refill on my water and a $7 sledge of lime cake.
Not to be mean or anything, but Starbucks is not the fastest Wi-Fi in the world either.
No,
so.
exactly.
Well, it's free. What do you expect?
It's and Barnes and Nobles is free. Panera is free. So
McDonald's.
McDonald's is free.
It's fast Wi-Fi.
So that's the thing. Like if we incorporate some of these, you don't even have to. You could take this concept and transcribe it or project it into
I
a
guess
bigger
it's just-
audience
It's
of
just
college
people
students.
don't like this exploitation of homeless people.
But what if you took it and gave it to college students?
That's
Yeah, once it starts breaking into the mainstream,
Because
that normal people can do these jobs. Like I hate using that word normal because they are normal. It's just
we have young people who flip signs too around the corner.
yeah, but then if compared to a college student who flips signs and a homeless person who flips signs, it's like you feel more bad for the homeless person who flips a sign. Instinctively, you feel bad more than the college student because you go to the college student, even if they were both homeless per se, and the college student's just better at hiding it. You'd just be like, oh, the college student needs this money because he's paying off student loans or whatever, and this homeless person is just like, oh, they're homeless. What do I do?
well, I'm thinking. Say a college student needs a job, he'd probably have to buy that hotspot. Do you think really these cell phone companies are actually just gonna here you go, college student, walk around?
Well, yeah, I guess the hotspot would be deducted out of his paycheck, and then he's not getting
Anything until
he's not getting any donations. He would just be getting
A pay.
he'd be getting a paycheck.
Maybe it's like concession based pay.
Maybe the more people you get in your area, the more of a bonus you get.
Or you make the $5 an hour the donations, and then they take a cut. How long are we at right now? Because we just ranted like 20 minutes on homeless people.
Yeah, I think we're
We
at
did.
57 minutes.
Okay, that's not so
No.
bad. We're still
No.
down.
I mean, but it's a really interesting and debatable topic that
It's a very controversial video, but that's what I love about it. I just love that.
controversial
Because
topics.
people need to... Because we're so shielded. We need to get exposed.
We are shielded. There's a lot of
Yeah, we get
There is
uncomfortable. We get uncomfortable at other human beings having less than us. That's how bad we are in America. We get uncomfortable that we don't want to deal with them because they have less.
There's a
than
lot of
us.
people at our high school that got looked down because you didn't have the right phone, or you didn't drive a car.
Yeah,
Or you're going to a community college and got into an Ivy League. We do look down on people.
I look down on myself for that. Okay.
Hey, we're not saying anybody's in a community college here or a state college.
But
I'm just saying we do look down on people. We don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Just because you're going to a state college and getting a degree doesn't make you any better than someone that's going to Ivy League.
and it's
Yeah,
not like,
they're a little bit smarter, or they had
have
better
more money.
connections.
it's not like anybody says
At the end
it,
of
but
the day, you know what they call the guy who graduates last out of his pre-med class? A doctor.
a doctor with no job.
But still, if you got a job, no, everyone gets a job.
No one. You can't be so certain in this economy.
Well, exactly. That was like on the ABC newscast where law schools are claiming they have high graduation employment rates, 98%, and people are now suing them because they're spending $27,000 and getting $30,000 in debt and coming out of the law school and no job guaranteed.
It's the same exact thing for doctors. Like, if all these people come out of a pre-med program and some have great grades and some have just slid by and then some have the worst of the pack but they still graduated, they're always going to take the ones with the great grades first.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one who has this more field experience.
Yeah.
You could have terrible, not terrible grades, obviously. You got to have good grades to be a doctor.
I mean,
But it doesn't make you
average.
any less of a doctor. At the end of the day, he's still gonna whatever specialty is
But
or
it's
whatever.
still a competition. Like it still is.
At the end of the day, I just want a guy that's gonna do what I need to do, save my life or whatever.
In the end, you'll have the degree.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you start either.
Yeah, because where I start is getting erased from my resume.
Looking down.
I am looking down. Because I know I'm better than this. I hold myself to a very high expectation.
And we're okay with that.
See, this is my normal expectation for myself. So
I hold myself to a very high
this
expectation.
is just my cheaper expectation.
yes.
Like, do I have the chance to go to a 4-year school? Yes. My parents could afford it? Nope.
No. So where do we go? Cheaper outside?
I hold myself very high. Like, I beat myself down.
Well, your parents could afford it. You have, you come from a blessed background.
And you can afford it.
You go on flights all the time. You have, your parents were able to give you money in stock options and stuff like that.
I paid back.
That you paid back. Still, you had stock options.
You became successful because
you're looking at other people and privileges. They don't have that. I'm just saying. Me and Alex didn't have parents that gave us stock options.
No. Maybe here's $100.
Yeah, you get a grandparent. Like that, that money for clothes and school.
But because of that, I hold myself again because I hold myself because of that even more so to higher expectations. But I hate to get this into a moral. You don't need to hear my background. So.
No, we won't go that far.
You don't need to peek into my psych. You're not my psychiatrist.
So other than Andy's psychiatric problems, is there anything else?
I'm crazy. That's all you need to know. I'm super crazy. I get less than 6 hours of sleep a night. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I actually got 3 hours of sleep last night. I was so proud of myself.
I'm scared when he actually goes off to college.
Why? Leaving my 3 hours of sleep?
You will have less than 3 hours of sleep when you move to Seattle.
Probably.
So, other than that, I think we covered pretty much everything that's gone on this week in tech.
Basically. We nailed it this week.
Yeah, we really nailed it.
We actually had an iPad today. It was great.
The day it comes out.
The day came out.
Yeah, so hopefully when... you should get a new DSLR the day it comes out. That'd be nice.
Hopefully, we can get our hands on a new iPhone.
You want to talk about the Nikon?
The Canon?
The Canon.
All there is to talk about is the Canon 5D Mark III is coming out on sale the 25th. The manual is now online on Canon's website. And
have you gone through it?
Not yet. But I should download it tonight and go through it. And the camera will officially go on sale the 25th. And the Lumia is now rumored to go on sale August. Sad.
900?
No.
I thought
April.
Oh my god! August is quite a long time.
Sorry, this is what 3 hours of sleep does to me. So
you should probably take something for that.
Well, hopefully we can get our hands on one of those too.
Oh,
drugs?
Not drugs.
A 900.
The 900.
That'd be nice.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm a little out of day. So, I think we're going to wrap it up now so I can get some sleep. Thanks so much, guys. You can reach us on... are we in the iTunes store yet?
I still try the Podbean and everything.
Finally, when we're finally on the iTunes store, we'll be Tech Out Loud. You know,
Yep.
In the meantime, we're both on Facebook and Twitter at Tech Out Loud. Same thing. Tech Out Loud, spell it. It's no spaces. And then we have our individual Twitter. I'm at Andangit, ANDDANGIT.
I'm at Chris Walton, capital C, capital W.
And I'm Alex Weston. Instead of an O, it's a C.
And thanks so much, guys, for joining us. See you guys next week.